Which black knife should I carry today? Hey, that's different. Hi guys, welcome to my review of the Spyderco Tenacious with these awesome green scales. And, I'd known about the Tenacious for several years, but I just never really, felt the need to spend my money on it. Because I had a lot of knives like it, black handle, silver blade, liner lock. It really just didn't seem all that special to me. But when I saw this special edition of the Tenacious, I was much more impressed, and I bought it pretty quickly. And, I don't regret it at all. It's a fantastic knife. So, obviously I've been carrying it as an everyday carry knife, and it's been working very well for that. It could also be a more defensive or tactical knife if you wanted to employ it in that role. It does have a pretty decent traction plan, as I'll get into, a 3.5 inch long blade, so it could be a defensive carry for you. It could also just be a collectible. A lot of guys like to collect knives, especially Spydercos, and for around $40-45, for the cool factor and everything that this delivers, it could just be a safe queen, and you could just collect it if you wanted to. So let's get into that blade on here. It is a very common 8CR13 MOV steel. You've probably heard me talk a bit about that. It's good steel. I like it. It's holds the edge pretty well, easy to resharpen. It will rust if you don't take care of it, but for the price point, I think it's a good choice. It is that kind of broader blade, and I do like that. It slices very well. It is full flat ground. It's a 3mm thick blade, and it just slices really well. It's a very nice blade shape. Has enough belly in there that it slices well, but it's not so much that it's hard to sharpen. I have found on my Ontario Rat 1 that this has so much belly that it's actually kind of a challenge to sharpen. So just something to keep in mind. I really like the blade on here. It's a nice compromise. Your tip on there is delicate, precise, but not overly weak either. I think it's a good kind of all-around tip on there as well. So as you can tell on here, your opening mechanism on here is just that standard 13mm spider hole from Spyderco. I love it. It's awesome, and there's a reason everyone copies it. The spider hole just rocks. Now, as you can tell on here, these handles are made out of that very cool green G10. It's kind of a medium traction, medium quality G10. It's nice. It provides some nice grip in hand, but it's not so much that it's going to shred your pockets underneath that pocket clip. So I do like the handles quite a bit. They did kind of round those corners a bit, so it's comfortable in hand, and it's really actually kind of a similar knife to the Spyderco Manix 2 in a lot of ways. Kind of a more affordable version. This had just fantastic ergonomics. This isn't quite as good, but this is also very nice. So the handles on here is just really nice. It is mini Torx bit construction on there, so you can take this thing apart if you want to. You can adjust your pivot point on there. Right now, the up and down, there's no play whatsoever. Side to side, there's just a hair. There was none out of box. I think that pivot point has just loosened up just a tad. I can just put a little blue Loctite on there, tighten it down, and that will resolve the problem, no problem. So yeah. So you also have flow-through construction on there. So that's nice, and they did skeletonize out these stainless steel liners on there, so that gets your weight down to 4.1 ounces. So it's not the lightest knife ever, but it's decent. It's easy to carry. It doesn't feel overly heavy or anything. And around 4 ounces. It has just a little weight to it, and that just really gives it a kind of a quality feel. It just feels. It feels like a knife that's priced higher than it is. It feels more like a $70 knife, not a $40 knife. So you can see on there it is a liner lock. I do like the liner lock mechanism. It's easy to use. This is a pretty thick liner, and so I like that. It's very strong. I have used this knife, relatively hard, and it held up. You know, it's obviously still a folding knife. It's a liner lock, but it's going to be, you know, all the strength you need realistically. So as you can tell on there, you do have a thumb ramp with awesome jimping. So that's part of that traction plan I was talking about. So I really like that. It really helps you lock in. And also they put some jimping on that liner. So very nice. It's very comfortable in hand. Now as you can see on here, your pocket clip is will go on all 4 ends of the knife. So that's really nice. Tip up or tip down, left hand or right hand. And this is it could be a left-handed friendly knife. You can put the clip on the left side. Now it is a liner lock, so that's, you know, kind of, I don't know, not all that lefty friendly. But, you know, you can see on my left hand, you know, I can actuate that lock and use the knife. So lefties can enjoy this knife as well, which is nice. Now I'll show you on a pair of pants this pocket clip. It's not super deep, but good enough, I think. As you can see on there, a little bit rides out, but that it does make it easy to extract the knife from your pocket. So, you know, I like it overall. The pocket clip's really well done. Very strong too. One of the strongest pocket clips I've seen in a long time, which I like. I like really tough, strong pocket clips because it means I'm not going to lose the knife. So very nice. And also that polishing on the clip really kind of matches the theme of the knife. Definitely, I think. So I like it. So as you can tell, guys, you know, there's not a lot that I dislike about this knife at all. Really nothing. Oh, well, one thing maybe. They could maybe have made that lanyard loop just a little bit bigger. You could probably sneak, you know, some hollowed out paracord through there. But, you know, again, not a huge issue. I don't really use my lanyard holes anyway. But that's kind of the only thing I could hit it with, you know, at all. It's just a fantastic knife. Well, I guess also made in China. I guess that's maybe another downside. But again, if they made it in the US, it's going to cost a lot more than 40 bucks. So, not really that big of a downside. So, I'll give you a little comparison to some other knives. As far as, you know, competitive options, there's a few other knives that maybe would compete. This Ontario Rat 1, you can get this in several different colors. This is the desert tan. You can also get it in more of an olive drab. So if you want, you know, more colorful knives, this would be another good option. A great knife. I really do like the Rat 1. A little bit heavier, about an ounce heavier, but it's going to be a little more affordable. You know, also another option. It's not going to come in different colors or anything, but this Kershaw Nerve, this thing is going to be probably about half the price of this. Same steel. Now it is bead blasted, so it's going to be a little bit less resistant to corrosion. But, you know, this is also a great knife. I have my review out on this, so check it out. So that's a good competitive option out there for you. Also, you know, another Kershaw, this Kershaw Scamp. Steel frame lock, so it's going to be probably just a little bit stronger. Also thinner than this Tenacious. So another good competitive option. If you want, you know, another color handle, this is a K-Bar Dozier. Good little knife, much lighter weight, more affordable. And this is AUS-8 steel, so maybe this steel would just have a slight edge over this one. Probably not that big of a difference. So, you know, there are some other good options out there. If you want to spend just a little bit more money, or just get something a little bit nicer, obviously there's just always the Spyderco Delica and Endura. These things are always good. Probably going to be 15 to 20 bucks more than this, but you get that VG10 steel, which is going to be much better, you know, at resisting rusting or anything. It's going to hold the edge longer. VG10 steel is probably, you know, going to be like my all-time favorite steel. You know, if I could have one steel on my knife, it'd probably be VG10. At least for the money. You know, maybe something crazy exotic if I, you know, can just have anything, but VG10's awesome for the money. So, you know, overall, I highly recommend it. You can't go wrong with it. If you're kind of on the fence, I say order it. You'll be very happy with it. So, if you have any questions about this knife, feel free to ask them. I'd be happy to help you guys out. Everyone, thanks for watching, and have a nice day.